There's a lot of things that prove where you live affects the way you think. A study posted on CNN found that New Yorkers from the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic are more anxious in their romantic relationships than West Coast dwellers. Another study posted by Psychology Today, which was conducted by the University of Virginia, showed a direct relationship between personality and where someone lives. They found that introverts are happier in living around mountains and around beaches. This shows a direct link between where someone living affecting their personality and what they like in life. Now, there hasn't been any research I could find on whether someone being into fashion more or less because of where they live, so I conducted a smaller social experiment based on this. These following clips show how some of the interviews went and how a lot of the responses were similar. My driving question throughout this was, can where you live affect whether you're into fashion?
Serena Aguilar.
Okay, now the first question is, how many times do you shop a month?
Probably about like once or none. I mean, usually once.
And then how many times a week do you talk about or focus on something that has to do with fashion?
At least once a day, so like 7, I'll just say 7, 10 times a week.
So like often.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
Eden Rosen.
And how many times would you say you shop about each month?
Like every other week.
So like a lot.
Every time I have money.
What's your name?
Melissa Lewis.
And how many times a week do you talk about or focus on something that has to do with fashion?
Every day.
Throughout the interviews, I showed the ladies' outfits to show that they all have very different styles, and I don't think style affects whether they are into fashion or not. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how much would you say you're into fashion, like, in general?
Like a 9.
An 8. 9.
I asked all the ladies the same 3 questions, but in conclusion, I found that Calabasas had the first most into fashion, Woodland Hills being the second, and Los Angeles being the third. I assumed Calabasas was the first most because there's not many activities for people to spend their money on, so instead they replaced those activities with shopping.